Hello, dear students. A very warm welcome to my session. On the request of many students, I have brought here some important questions in your literature portion. So, altogether, there are 7 chapters in the literature portion of your syllabus for this board examination. Now, in Flamingo, in the rat trap chapter, you see, this question I have found to be important. And now, students, if you go through these questions, you would be most probably you would be able to answer any type of questions from those chapters. So, in the rat trap, the first question, how does the rat trap story start? Right? How does the rat trap story start? I hope you know the answer. It starts in a fairy tale way. That is, once upon a time. That is called a fairy tale way. Now, what and why did the rat trap seller think about the whole world? So, you have to write this answer in 30 to 40 words, and this will be of 2 marks. So, this what and why. What did he think about the whole world? And why did he think? Because he himself was suffering, so he only thought bad for everybody in the world. Now, next question, how could Edla help to reform the rat trap seller? Now, this kind of question will be in, you have to write in 120 to 150 words. Another thing, students, just remember that you must stick to the number of words. Don't keep writing till 200 words. Examiners very well know till where is 30 to 40 words or 120 to 150 words. So, this question, how could Edla help to reform the rat trap seller? So, Edla's contribution in the rat trap seller's transformation, you have to mention right from that place where the ironmaster invites the rat trap seller to his house, thinking the rat trap seller to be one of his friends. So, from there, what Edla did to reform the rat trap seller, which is mentioned in the end of the story. The third question, the story, the rat trap, focuses on human loneliness and the need to bond with others. Comment. Now, this is also a long long answer to this question, that how it focuses on human loneliness. Why? The rat trap seller was what? He was a vagabond. He did not have anybody in the world. He did not have anyone. He did not have a family. He did not have a home. And he always took resort to stealing and begging to meet his ends. So how it focused, he was a lonely person, and in his plodding, he used to think the whole world just like a rat trap. And the different beauties of the world he thought to be as baits in a rat trap. Baits means all the food given in the cage, the rat trap, and the rats are all trapped in that. So in the same way, he thought about the world. Now, why? Because he was a lonely person. He did not communicate with another. He did not have any person to love. Neither no one showed him any kind of love, and the need to bond with others. So he was very surprised when the crofter gave him a very good host and that night by giving him food as well as tobacco. And you have to comment referring to the whole story, that how he reforms into a good person after the generosity shown by Edla also. Question number 4 is, from where did the peddler get the ideas of the world being a rat trap? From where did he get? Now 30 to 40 words. It's same as the first question. So from where did the peddler get the ideas of the world being a rat trap? From where did he get? In his ploddings, when he used to walk alone, nobody in the world. In that, he was a rat trap seller. That was a that was the actually the metaphor. The rat trap word here used is a kind of metaphor that was compared to the whole world, which he thought to be a kind of a rat trap. So his ideas he got when he was a lonely. He used to walk, and in that he thought that all the attractions of the world are just like baits in the world, and the world is a kind of a rat trap. So only 30 to 40 words. Please arrange your answer in that. And students, please remember, please read the question very carefully. What is us asked? For example, in question 5, compare and contrast. That is, compare and contrast. Comparison between the character of the Iron Master, that is the father of Edla, with that of his daughter. Who is the daughter? Edla. So you have to compare, give all the the features of his characters of Ironmaster, daughter, and then you have to compare that how they were both were very different. And contrast, they had a very contrasting character. Contrast means opposite character. So this is a answer which has to be written in 120 to 150 words. Now students, this is the very final revision. This is the final revision you are going to just go through this. Just have a nice idea about these questions. Now next comes Indigo. Justify the appropriateness of the title Indigo to this extract. Now this is again a long answer, 120 to 150 words. Justify the appropriateness of the title Indigo to this extract. Now this chapter, you have to mention that this starts with Rajkumar Shukla going to Gandhiji to call him to Champaran, where this problem was there, where the sharecroppers of indigo, how they were suffering under the British landlords, and why it is appropriateness of the title. Now this, the reason of the indigo sharecroppers suffering was taken to Gandhiji. Gandhiji went to Champaran, and there how he worked with the mass of Champaran, that is, and then he brought about a civil disobedience movement, which was the first civil disobedience movement in India. So this question will be a long answer, and in this the reason and how Gandhiji worked to end this problem, how the indigo sharecroppers got back their rights. Next question, why did Gandhi agree to a settlement of 25% refund to the farmers? This is only 30 to 40 words. Why this was his way of adjusting, the way of giving a very positive approach in which he made the Britishers surrender to his demand, and he agreed with it, and the Britishers also surrendered. They were ready to give the 25% refund to the farmers. So this you have to give in 30 to 40 words. Students, I am not discussing the whole chapter in details. I have explained many times. Please see the video of Indigo chapter. Also I have explained on the YouTube. So you can see the video and you can understand also. What was the reaction of the peasants of Champaran when they came to know that a Mahatma had come to help them? So 30 to 40 words. Why do you think Gandhi considered the Champaran episode to be a turning point in his life? So of course it was a turning point in how Rajkumar Shukla persuaded him to go to Champaran, how he worked among the people, how he scolded the lawyers to tax those or to take fees from the poor farmers, and how he brought the success of this indigo movement or the Champaran movement in successful by his civil disobedience. So these all points you have to mention. Next comes the poem 5, A Thing of Beauty. So A Thing of Beauty also I have explained on the YouTube. The link you can get in the description box. So how, according to poet John Keats, does beauty make a permanent impression on our minds? 30 to 40 words, 2 marks. A permanent how? Because how the beauty makes a permanent impression on our minds, like the nature of the, like the beauty of nature, lakes, flowers, all these. Because what does Keats say? That is, a thing of beauty is a joy forever, isn't it? He has mentioned that a thing of beauty is a joy forever. So here he mentions it's a joy forever. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Joy forever. That is, its beauty, the thing of beauty is always, its beauty increases. It's an eternal. The beauty, a thing of beauty is eternal. It's a permanent impression on our minds. It never dies. For example, the mighty dead. One example he has given about the mighty dead also. That is, the people who have been chivalrous in their life and they have laid their life for the cause of the mankind. Their stories, the poet mentions that they are told in generations and generations. And what is that? That is also a thing of beauty which has a permanent impression on our mind. We see our grandfathers have heard about Chhatrapati Shivaji. We have heard, you all, our next generation is also hearing. This is what? A permanent impression. That is the mighty dead. And the things of beauty, nature also, what are they? They are eternal. They are giving a joy forever. List the things that cause suffering and pain as mentioned by John Keats in the poem. This is also of 30 to 40 words. This is very clearly mentioned in the explanation of the poem. How does Keats' poem, A Thing of Beauty, appeal richly to the senses, stimulating the reader's inner sight as well as the sense of touch and smell? Write your answer in about 120 to 150 words. Now, children, this is had come in the SQ, the sample question paper question is this. Now, how is it? How a thing of beauty? You have to mention all the five senses involved. So his poem is what? His poem is very, very much involved with imageries, that is, involves the five senses. The sight is there, that is how the daffodils, the lakes, the rills, all those are mentioned. And the touch, the smell, everything is mentioned in the poem, and you have to mention all of this. Is rather the whole poem's summary only, but write in 120 to 150 words. Next poem is Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. Students, I have also explained Aunt Jennifer's Tigers in my YouTube channel. So this question, you see, Aunt Jennifer's tigers will go on prancing fearlessly even after her death. What does it tell you? That is, or that will come of 30 to 40 words, 2 marks. How does the poet use the image of fingers fluttering through the wool? Fingers fluttering through the wool to highlight Aunt Jennifer's victimization. So what was she doing? She was making an embroidery of the prancing tigers. The prancing tigers are reflecting her energy, her idea of free life, her idea of freedom. But she's suppressed. She is a victim of the different sufferings of married life. So her fingers are also fluttering through the wool, that is, through the wool with which she is doing the embroidery on the panel which she is making the prancing tigers, because she was afraid of uncle or her husband. What will happen to Aunt Jennifer's tigers when she is dead? That is the same, almost same question. First and third are same. That is, after her death also the fear will remain, but her expression of the prancing tigers will always be there, which are free, which are chivalrous, which are elegant. That is, those were her ideas of her mind. But she herself will remain afraid after the death also. Now these can come in 30 to 40 words. Now, should wizard hit mommy? What did the wizard's house look like? Now, students, I told you to read the chapters. Please go through these questions. Why did Joe want the wizard to hit the mother? Why did Joe think Roger's skunk was better off with a new spell? That is, this is what this story gives the message, that originality is more important than any kind of change, or change when oneself. Originality, the Roger skunk's smell, which he himself did not like. He went to the wizard and had the smell of the rose. So with that was the new smell. Now Jo is what? She is a small girl. So she likes the Roger skunk having friends all around him. So after his smell was new smell, he got a lot of friends. And this is the idea of a small child. So this is what you have to write. This is in 30 to 40 words. What impression do you form of Jack as a father in the story Should Wizard Hit Mommy? So this will be a characterization of the father. Now from the beginning till the end, you have to discuss or describe how the father was actually dealing with the little girl Jo. Right from the start, the story starts that he used to tell the stories in the Saturday afternoons and evenings. So all these you have to mention in 120 to 150 words. Why is an adult perspective on life different from that of a child's? Discuss with reference to the story Should Wizard Hit Mommy? So this story is actually giving this message only, that whatever the parents think, that is more correct for a child. For example, then you have to refer the story, that is Jo was wanting Roger skunk to have the new smell, but and therefore she disliked the mommy skunk to go and hit the wizard and ask Roger skunk to have his original smell. But now this Jack supports, because he was a responsible father. He tells whatever the mommy had done, that was better for Roger skunk. So what message you are getting from this story? That we should always appreciate what we have as originality and not change with everything. Next chapter is 6, On the Face of It, where we find the two characters, Mr. Lamb and Derry. Both are physically impaired. Mr. Lamb has a thin leg and Derry has a scarred face. One side of face is scarred. So what change did Mr. Lamb bring in Derry's attitude towards life? That is only 2 marks. 30 to 40 words, 2 marks. Why did Derry enter Mr. Lamb's garden? What was Mr. Lamb's reaction? That is, why did Derry enter? He actually wanted to be away from the society. He wanted to hide himself. So he did not take the right way through the gate to enter Mr. Lamb, but he jumped over the wall into Mr. Lamb's garden. What was Mr. Lamb's reaction? He welcomed Derry, because Derry was a very pessimistic child. He was of 14 years and he was a very pessimistic person, and Mr. Lamb was a very optimistic person. So you have to write both the things, giving the answer in 30 to 40 words. The actual pain or inconvenience caused by a physical impairment is often much less than the sense of alienation felt by the person with disabilities. What is the kind of behavior that the person expects from people around him? So this question is of 120 to 150 words and 5 marks are there. So the actual pain or inconvenience. Now here you have to describe the inconvenience and the pain which Derry was suffering in society. and of course his parents' behavior also towards him. And what he developed a sense of alienation. Alienation means left out. He had been not very much, people in the society did not mix with him because of his physical impairment, because of his disability. Now what makes these type of behavior from society made him a very pessimistic person. Now, what is the kind of behavior that a person expects from the people around him? What? A little love, acceptance, caring, cooperation. All these such people who have disabilities expect from people around him. So you have to write this answer with reference to the story. Now, Evans tries an O level. This is a fantastic story, very interesting. So, I have explained, I have taken many classes, I think 5 or 6 sessions I have taken to explain this. Please go through the chapter and see what are all the small details. Now, this question, you see, what were the contents in the brown box? This is very important. What all this McLeary had brought. McLeary was also a an accomplice of Evans. He also helped Evans to escape from the jail, escape from the prison. So you have to mention, and this will come in 30 to 40 words. So here it will be a 30 to 40. All right. That is, you cannot write less than 30 and you cannot write more than 40. What were the precautions taken by the prison officers to prevent Evans from escaping? So here also you have the same thing, 30 to 40 words, here will be it. Now what were the precautions? The precautions were many. They only allowed, of course they thought that they were doing the right thing. They invited a priest from the church to do the invigilation, but they did their own trick. Then the senior police officer, he took away all the things which were very risky for the prisoner Evans to keep, for example the razor, the nail, scissors, all that. And also he also inquired about his bobble hat, that why was he wearing. So all these are the precautions taken by the prison officer. How was injured McLeary able to befool the prison officers? That is of 120 words. Now this and this question, in spite of the precautions taken by the governor, Evans was able to escape. Now who was this injured McLeary? He was Evans only. So both these answers are same. All right, you can write this or this. So here you have to write all the details from that place. In spite of the, how do you think he was able to do it? So you have to, here in the next question, the fourth question, you have to give a little more details about McLeary also. But in the first question, you have to start from that place where Evans was sitting covered with the blanket, bleeding, in the room, in the cell where he was thought to be McLeary, but actually he was Evans himself. So students, don't get nervous. You have done enough revision and you will surely come out with flying colors. You will be able to write all the answers, and all the best for your exam.